Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are at. Welcome to Mentor Mornings. So, this S.B. Fuller guy carried with him an invisible talisman inside of his pocket. And on one side it said NMA, and on the other side it said PMA. S.B. Fuller grew up on a poor tenement farm. His family was extremely poor and they lived hand to mouth the whole time. He started working at the age of 5 years old. And by the time he was 9 years old, he was driving mules. And S.B. Fuller wondered why they had to be so poor. And he was lucky he had a mother that was extremely intelligent. And she used to tell him, she'd say, nobody in our family has ever had the desire to be rich. Nobody has ever had the desire to be anything. We shouldn't be poor, SB, she would say. And don't ever let me hear you say that it's God's will that we are poor. We are poor not because of God. We are poor because Father never developed the desire to be rich. Welcome to Mentor Mornings, guys. If you appreciate this video, please hit that thumbs up button. And if you feel that it's content worth sharing, share it with somebody that you think that it could help. All right, so this desire that SB's mother put inside of him, it triggered something inside of him where he started thinking about what it meant to be wealthy, what it meant to be rich, and he started to develop that desire inside of him. And so he started selling soap door to door. Hey Jerry, good to see you on here. He started selling soap door to door. And he did that for 12 long years until eventually he had $25,000 saved away. And the soap company that he worked for went up for sale for $150,000. Well, SB went to the owners of the soap company and he made a deal with him. He said, look, I have $25,000 that I can put down on this company. I would love to buy it. And a deal was worked out. They gave him the opportunity to buy the company. And that was that he could put $25,000 down and he had 10 days to come up with the rest of the money. And here was the kicker. If he didn't come up with the rest of the money by the end of the 10 days, he would lose his original deposit. He would lose that $25,000 that took him 12 years to save. SB took it. He took the deal and he went for it. And so he went out, he met with his friends, he met with family, he went to people that he knew and other business owners, and he came up with all of it except for the last $10,000. The last $10,000. And it was on the 10th day, and SB was doing everything he could to come up with the rest of the money. And he was driving down the 61st Street in Chicago, and it was 11 p.m. on the 10th day, and he was just looking for that last $10,000. And he was just looking for a light to be on somewhere. And he found one. He found a light on in a little office, and so he stopped and got out of his car, and he went in, and he found the owner of the company sitting there behind his desk, tired after a long day. And SB just walked in and he just dropped it. He said, do you want to make $1,000? And the guy looked up from his desk. Yeah. So SB went on to tell him about what he had done and his plan and what he was trying to do. And to make a long story short, SB Fuller walked out of there with the $10,000 check in his pocket. And he went on not only to buy that company, but he bought 7 other companies before it was all said and done. In total, he ended up owning 8 companies. And this man came from practically nothing. And SB went on to say, he says, we are not poor because of God. We are poor because my father never developed the desire to be rich. If you want to, if you know what you want, you are more apt to recognize it when you see it. When you read a book, for example, you will recognize opportunities to help you get what you want. Napoleon said that S.B. Fuller carried around with him an invisible talisman, and on one side was NMA for negative mental attitude, and on the other side was PMA for a positive mental attitude. And the difference inside Fuller's life is that 1, he had the desire to be rich, but 2 is that he carried around that invisible talisman and he always did what he could to keep positive mental attitude side of that talisman up. And so today, when you think about when you're going through some kind of struggle or when you're facing something, which side of that talisman are you going to focus on keeping up? All right, guys, thank you for watching Mentor Mornings. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the daily Mentor Morning List. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow on Mentor Mornings. Rise unconquered, my friends.